Harry Maguire is Manchester United's captain. During his time as the club's captain, he has seen his team being beaten at home by 5 goals, not once but twice. In the Manchester derby a few days ago, Manchester City dominated possession and Harry Maguire was just absolutely terrible. It's a disgrace that he was ever worth £80 million. But that's actually the thing, he was never actually worth £80 million, but for some reason Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decided, yeah, the man that looks like a fridge, he's my man, I'm going to break the world record for a defender. Maguire's had a few good games here and there, but is that really worth £80 million? No, it's not. He is just a terrible defender. I mean, he's worth 30 or 40 at the max. Just put this in your head. A year and a half prior to when Harry Maguire signed for Manchester United, Virgil van Dijk cost £5 million less, and he is undoubtedly world class, and he's arguably the best defender in the world. But if you pay £5 million more, you're going to get a centre-back that isn't even top 3 in the league, not even the best centre-back at Manchester United. For the second goal in Manchester United versus Manchester City, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw were just absolutely terrible. They just left the ball go and Bernardo Silva got a fairly simple goal. The media blames David De Gea. It's just an absolute joke. If I was a goalkeeper in that situation, you're just going to have to assume the ball's not going to get to Bernardo Silva. The fact it gets to him is a joke. The media blames David De Gea for the loss, even though if he wasn't playing in that game, Manchester United would have lost by 5 for the second time in 2 weeks. The British players in the league are just protected. I mean, Fred was awful, but so was Scott McTominay, but no one was giving out about Scott McTominay. Lindelof, for an example, he didn't have the best of games, but in my opinion, he's actually a better centre-back than Harry Maguire. That is unpopular, but he gets all the criticism. Maguire's apparently world class. If Harry Maguire was Spanish, if he was French, if he was German, if he just wasn't from Scotland, England, Northern Ireland or Wales, he would get 100 times the amount of criticism. But because he's English, the English media are gonna protect him and everyone's gonna listen to the English media and apparently believe that Harry Maguire is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. It's just a joke. The only reason he's played is mainly because he's English, everyone gets on the hype. It's also because they spent £80 million. They want to justify spending all that money on a useless defender who looks like a fridge. If Manchester United were to reinvest the money they spent on Harry Maguire, brought in a foreign player for half the money who's probably better than Harry Maguire, and brought in a defensive midfielder, they'd be better off. It's not like they spent that extra money for his leadership purposes. I mean, when they got battered 5-0 by Liverpool, he came out in the interview and said, "I'm only here because I have to be." You don't say that. That's very motivational, isn't it? You should say, you know, that performance was a disgrace. It was absolutely terrible. It wasn't good enough, and we will try and we will be better next week. Harry Maguire is a joke of a centre-back. It's a joke that they spent £80 million, and it's a joke that Manchester United are in this situation right now. A bigger joke than Harry Maguire is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and if you want to know why I think that, just click the video on your screen.